Good evening, Stampers. How is everybody this evening? My name is Judi Anderson from JudyStamps.com, and welcome to Thursday's Tools and Techniques Thursday. So I'd like to welcome everybody to our live class tonight. And those that are watching on replay, if you're watching on Facebook, be sure to give me thumbs up and hearts and let me know where you're coming from. And if you're watching me live right now on YouTube, please comment and let me know where you're coming from and say hi there also. I'd like to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to take this class tonight. And so remember you can share this video with your friends. And tonight we are going to be doing a flip flap card. Now this is a card that is very, very easy to make, but when you see it, it looks very complicated, but I'm going to take the steps out and show you step by step on how to do this tonight. We are going to be using some items from the annual catalog and from Celebration tonight. Now, don't forget, Celebration is going on January and February of 2022. Just say that because if you're watching this and it's a little bit later and you're watching it on replay, so you know that maybe some of this stuff is not available anymore. So what do you say? Let's get flipped around and let's get started. Just that easy. There we go. So like I said, we are using some items out of the annual catalog and the Celebration catalog. Now, if you are currently working with a demonstrator and you'd like either or both of these catalogs, and we also have our January to June catalog has gone live. If you're not currently working with another demonstrator and would like these catalogs, send me an email. Let me know. I'll send them to you, okay? So, Celebration. We're going to look at page 8, and we have the Sunshine and Rainbows 6x6 Designer Series paper. And I am loving this paper, you guys. It is so bright and cheery, and it's so dark and dreary outside. So this kind of lifts your spirit up. I have been making so many projects with this. If you hang on until the end of this video, I am going to show you a card that I made using this Designer Series paper and only a sentiment stamp set. Okay, this does coordinate with a stamp set and dies in our January to June catalog also. So got that. And then if you open up the annual catalog on page 856, you'll find the Turtle Friends bundle. I think this guy is so cute. He's just adorable. And we are going to be using that tonight for our card. We're also going to be using some dies. I have already cut out the 3 largest dies in here, and you'll see the paper in a minute, but this is the Stitch So Sweetly dies. I love the scalloped edges and the detail of the stitching on these. Now the number for these is 151690, in case you're wondering. I am also using our rectangle stitch dies. Now I have chosen this die set. We are actually going to use this skinny die down here. Okay, and this is going to be for our mechanism tonight. I used to create this card and use a couple of our punches, but we don't have a punch that can accommodate us tonight. So I'm going to show you how to use this die and still be able to make this. Now these, the number for this rectangle stitch dies is 148551. Okay, I'm just going to set that to the side. We're also using some tear and tape. I think our Memento ink. I'm going to be using Just Jade ink. This is a color that is part of our In Color family, and this is part of the family that's going to be going away this year. When our catalog ends in May. So if you are loving this color, I urge you to get it as soon as possible because with shipping and stuff the way it is nowadays, I am sure that those colors are going to be selling out. I'm also maybe using my dark and light Granny Apple Green. Okay, let's pull our paper over. Get a pen and paper because you're going to want to write these sizes down. My card base is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, and we're going to go ahead and burnish that score line. Okay, then I have a piece for the inside of the card, and this is a basic white, and it measures 5 by 3 3/4, and we're going to be putting that in. I just wanted a bigger border around on the inside of this, so that's going to go on the inside. Then for the front of our card, we have another piece of basic white that measures 4 by 5 1/4. I am going to go ahead and adhere that now with my Stampin' Seal because we can go ahead and attach that. So this piece is 4 by 5 1/4. Attach that right on there and rub that good. Our next piece is a piece of Designer Series paper, and this is the piece from this Rainbows, Sunshine and Rainbows, and I can use either side. Either of these sides would go, but I have chosen the one with all the sunshine on it. And that is going to be layered next, but we have to do some cutting on that piece. Then I have our mechanism. Our mechanism measures 2 inches by 6.5 inches. And this is Coastal Cabana. And then I cut a piece of basic white. This one, and this is going to be for the top. This is the largest scallop out of the Stitch So Sweetly. So I'm going to show you. That's the largest scallop. The basic white for that one is the next size down. Then I have a piece of Granny Apple Green. That piece is the second largest. And then the basic white for the inside there is the next one. So there you go. The first 3 rectangles is what we are using. Now you can switch your colors up. I could have done both these Coastal Cabana, but I just wanted to switch it up a little bit. So that's all of our pieces. I also have a piece of scrap basic white that we're going to be stamping and punching our turtle out of. So this is just a scrap. So let's get her done first. We're going to call her a her, but okay, just watch because I know before the end of this video, I'm going to be calling it a him, right? We all know that. Okay, now I just had my stamp set here. Oh my gosh, I moved everything. Oh dear. Okay. Hang on, I put it on the back counter. So this is our stamp set. We're going to use this big guy and this little one. Big girl, not little, not guy, right? So we're going to take this out and we're going to stamp it. Now I'm going to stamp her using the Just Jade. Okay, now the Just Jade color, I feel is a little bit deeper color. I could use Coastal Cabana, but I think the Just Jade is kind of close to the Coastal Cabana. Now I want to make sure that when this is upside down, that I'm going to put this in and it's going to go in the correct way. Stamp that. My piece is small enough, so it should be okay. So we have that. So we are also going to take the shell. Now they do have the shell here. So it's a 2-step stamp. I could just color this in. It also has a verse, and we're actually going to be using the verse. But I'm not going to use it inside the shell. And it says, it's time to celebrate. I think that's really cute. We're going to put that on the front. So we have our Granny Apple Green. So we're going to go ahead and stamp that on the inside of the shell. Get him on there really good. Okay, now I'm going to take my Stampin' Blends and I'm going to color. I want to color his toes the dark granny apple green. And I'm going to shade right underneath his shell a little bit and his tail and right along here. Now I'm going to take my light granny apple green and I'm going to blend that color down and out. And I'm going to go around the edges. And we're probably going to have a little bit of white towards the center there. And that's okay because that's going to give the illusion that he is 3D. Okay, and this one I've got the shadow or the lightness towards the front a little bit. I'm going to color down there and bring that color on out. Now I'm also going to take the light and I'm going to color around the shell. Okay, he's white, but if I take this now, it is a lighter color. So the granny apple green, the dark blend is closer to the color, but this coordinates and it's just a lighter shade of that granny apple. And he's all colored in. So let's get there. You know what? I think I'm going to give her, I called her a him again. I'm going to grab my Flirty Flamingo Stampin' Blend and I want to just give her a little bit of color right below her eye there, like it's a cheek. Okay, I'm going to take the granny apple again, and I'm just going to go over it a little bit, just to soften that up. Isn't she cute? Okay, let's punch her out. I'm going to put her in our punch and line her up. Boy, this piece is just perfect to line up there. Okay, got that. Tighten your punch just a slight bit to hold it and then punch. We've got her punched out. So she's going to be on the front, and in this upper side I am going to put "It's Time to Celebrate." And as you can see, it is shaped like that back of his shell, so I could have put it there, but I want to put it right up here. And I like that it's kind of a funky shape. I think it'll look really cute, and we're going to do that in the Memento ink. Now we're getting all our coloring and all our pieces together first, and then we're going to do the flip flap. Let's get this on here. Just try it there because I kind of scrunched it and got a little bit, and I'm going to put it at a slant and bring it down just a little bit. It's time to celebrate. Okay, got to clean that off. Forgot my chamois. Okay, so we have that, and that's going to be in the front. And this is going to be right here. Now, I want a little bit of greenery on the bottom. So we are just going to take our blend and do a ground just like that. Just kind of scribble it on there. So that's going to be the front. Now we need the inside. So for the inside, I am going to use the smaller turtle. I think she's so cute too. So we've got her. We're going to take the Just Jade again. And put her right here. Take our Stampin' Blend, and I'm not going to worry about the shading here. I want to take the light and it's going to go around, probably go around a couple times because that will darken it up. And just color this real quick. You know, this type of a card, the flip flap card, is a fun card to use with those stamp sets that are kind of whimsical or kind of what I call sassy. My grandmother would have loved them, you know, with the old ladies and stuff in there, and they've got the little sassy sayings. I could just see my grandmother saying some of those things. I could just hear her today saying some of the things. Okay, so we have that. So I just want to use what's in here. So it's time to celebrate. So we could do "You Are Turtly Loved" here, and then the "Happy Birthday" on the inside. So I am going to do the "You Are Turtly Loved," but we are going to use our Stampin' Right marker to stamp that because I know it's not going to fit across the entire piece. So we are going to have to stamp it twice and omit part of it. Now, when you omit wording, you could start with the second part first or the second part. It doesn't really matter. It just depends on the space, basically, is what I usually look at. So I'm going to do the "You Are." And I know that the "You Are," this verse is kind of more for the baby sayings in here because this would make an adorable baby card also, a welcome baby, a baby shower card. However, you know, everybody's turtly loved, aren't they? So especially on your birthday. So I think that this is still a very fitting verse. And we are going to just stamp that right below. Right there. Okay. Let's close up our ink pad and move some of this to the side. I'm getting quite a pile here. Now in the stamp set, we also have a little bit of grass. We're going to stamp some grass. I'm going to go ahead and grab my Just Jade. And we're going to stamp a little bit of grass because we don't want this little one walking in the air. We're going to go ahead on the front of the card and put some grass sporadically there also. So we have that. And then we have, there were 3 little hearts. Yep. We have 3 little hearts on here. And I think I'm going to do those in Poppy Parade. I am loving the Poppy Parade lately. We're going to go ahead and pretend that these are little balloons going up. Take our Stampin' Right marker and have these go kind of like they're coming out, like he's got them in his mouth, right? So just like that. This would make an adorable Valentine's card also, you guys. Okay, so we have that. Now we're going to go to creating the card and actually all the pieces. So let me move some of this out of the way. First, we're going to start with our 2 by 6.5 piece of Coastal Cabana. And this is our pull mechanism. And we need to score that. So when we score this, we're going to score it at 2 inches and at 2.5. So we're going to score it at 2 inches and at 2.5 inches. Okay, just make some real easy score lines. Okay, now we are going to take our designer series paper and we need to make a slot in here. And I have found that these rectangle stitch dies will work for this. So we want this about centered in our card. So we're going to get our cut and emboss machine out here. And we are going to set this just about in the middle. Let me move this. Let me see if I can move it so you can see. Not quite. And I'm going to put it on here at an angle. Let me see if I can move this out just a little bit so you can see this. I will move it back down. So we're going to put this in the center. You want it centered top to bottom and left to right. Just about. I am going to use a Post-it note. Okay, I know. Surprise! I am not a person that normally worries about, but you do want this in here straight. So I want to get this in here so it is straight. So you line it up here. right there. I'm actually lining it up to those suns. Okay, and we're going to put the paper at a slant because we don't want to run this through directly through because it warps your die. So you always want to put those with a sharp edge like that at a slant. I'm just going to run that through and run it back. Okay, we are done with that. Okay, so now what we've done is we've made a slot, and then we're going to fold on our two score lines here. This is actually going to slide through that, okay, through that opening. And it's okay that it's bigger. I usually made these 2 inches because if we were to use one of the punches that we had, it would be 2 inches. Was the size that you needed. Now we have a double bonus here. Now we've got a piece that we can use on another card. How about that? Okay, so let's get all our pieces in here. And I am going to line these all up. And onto this front piece, we're going to go ahead and use dimensionals to adhere that onto that mat. Now you could do the inside, just a rectangle. I don't always like to mess with matching up my rectangle dies to these dies, but they do match up and they do layer perfectly. I just love the scallop and because of the turtle. Okay, our little turtle here, we're going to go ahead and put him on and we're going to use dimensionals for her. Did you catch me? Did I say something I shouldn't have? No, I didn't. Okay. I just looked and thought something funky was on there. I'm actually going to grab a couple mini dimensionals and put them on her feet. And we are going to put a party hat on her. Just haven't stamped that yet. So we're going to put this here like that. Let's grab the party hat before I forget, because you know me, I will forget. Let's get the party hat. We'll get our memento. I have a scrap of white here. Always have scraps of basic white, right? Okay, there we go. What colors do we want to make her hat? Oh, let's grab our Poppy Parade light and let's do the light Flirty Flamingo since we have that. Now, you could easily make this a boy card just by changing the colors up. So I am just coloring right like that, making a little bit of a white line down the center because that's going to give it the 3D effect again. And up here, and let's give her, oh, we'll just do a green pom-pom on top. Might have something for that in my little compartment of, embellishments. Okay, when I cut this, you're going to notice I'm cutting way down below the bottom of that hat. I cut this excess off. That's because I want something to glue on to behind that turtle head. Okay, and if I cut it too close, I'm going to have to put it over her head a little bit. And it's a little bit harder to attach. So I'm just going to cut that. I normally would use my glue. I don't have my glue here today. Set that up. We're just going to set this right down. Oops, we need to make it a little bit shorter or dimensionals in there. Let's just make it a little bit shorter. And just like this, sets right there. And let's just tuck a little dimensional behind the hat. Oh, I think this celebration is going to call for a little bit of Wink of Stella also. Okay, let's get this kind of pulled it a little bit. There we go. A little party hat on her. Okay, so when we attach this one is going to be attached right here. Okay, and then, I'm sorry, the smaller one is going to be attached there. So let's get this one on, and we're not going to use a dimensional because you don't want this one to pop up. So we're just adhering this right to there. Almost gave you the wrong directions. So we want to attach this onto here. Okay, and we want to attach it so it goes to the end here. Okay, because this piece here is going to be attached here. Okay, and that's going to go over and hide that. And then when it's pulled, it flaps, and that's what's going to make it flap. Now, this is a moving card. So you want to make sure that you use either the multi-purpose liquid glue, the Seal Plus, or the tear and tape. Because when people get these cards, I'm going to tell you, they sit there and play with them. My grandkids sit and play with my movable cards. They sit and they play with all the time. Okay, let's rub that on there. And I'll put this on here. Okay, now I always attach this part first. Now I want it centered up and down. I'm going to go right here, just like that. Let me put this on my lines so I can kind of eyeball where up and down it's centered. Okay, rub it really good. Okay, we're going to rub that really good. Okay, the next one is going to go here, and I am going to use my tear and tape along here. And what I do a lot of times is I'll use my tear and tape towards the center, and then I'll use my liquid glue. So I do a short piece of tear and tape here and then use liquid glue on each end. I'm going to line this up so it does not surpass that score line. And that's why I like this to be the same, my mechanism, the same color as the front. And I just noticed I need to move this in just a smidgen. Oh no. Well, it's not going to be moved in. Okay, you're not supposed to see that green, but it's okay. Now what we're going to do is this actually gets placed inside the slot. We're going to hold down. We're going to attach the back. And then what happens is when you pull it, it flaps. Okay, so we need to attach this. And so we need it centered. We only want to attach this part right here. So I'm going to grab my tear and tape again, and we are going to secure this. Now you can secure the entire thing or just this part. It's totally up to you. I am going to secure the whole piece. And I put 3-4 strips of this on here because we want this on here really, really good. Okay, rub that on. We're going to take your pick tool, remove the protective coating on there. Okay, now very carefully, you want to hold it up a little bit because you're going to want to put this down. And oh dear, I think I only want to put it this far. I put it over too far. Shoot. Okay, we don't want it to go through where that mechanism is. So hang on. Let me get this. If I can get it off. Let me grab my. So I only want to do it on the outside over here, because if we were to glue this down, it's going to glue down. It would glue down on this part also, and it would not move. So we just want to go right here. I'm centering it on that front flap. Go ahead and secure that really good and see how it flip flaps. Okay, so now flip it over. Okay. And I do have a little bit of tape here, but that's okay for right now. Okay, so I'm going to take my Stampin' Dimensionals. I take the edges. Okay, so I'm going to take this entire edge off because I want to hold this up. But you do not want to go over this line. So for right on this side, I'm making like a channel for that to slide. Put this one here. I want my channel just as long as I can make it along there, because that's where that slide's going to go. Now for the rest, you can pretty much put them wherever to hold up your paper. Let's put it in the middle there. These are a lot easier than you thought, I bet. Are they? Let me know what you guys think. Let's get this. I see just a little bit of adhesive I do have to remove. You're going to be noticing I don't have my pot here tonight. We have an open house tomorrow evening, and everything is on the other side of it's in my classroom. Okay, I just want to make sure this doesn't all get taped down. I can also take my embossing buddy, but I don't have that handy right now. Okay, so we're going to put this on the front with our dimensionals, centering that on there, and watch. Just like that. Isn't that cute? I just love that. It's time to celebrate. You are truly loved. Okay, then on the inside we have a piece of basic white. We're going to go ahead and decorate that with the happy birthday and our memento. Okay, and we can do a couple more little turtles on the inside. What do you say? Let's get a couple more, but the basic class tonight was for the flip flap card. How many, let me know, how many of you are going to make one of these now? How many of you feel like you could make one? It's easy peasy, isn't it? Once you learn all the secrets. I am shading this one just a little bit. Little guy on the inside. I'm going to make his shell darker. Keep up with the way we did everything else. I could probably even draw on the inside there, just like that front shell. I'm going to go ahead and attach this. And don't forget, celebration is going on January and February, and products are available while quantities last. You can go to my store. It is in the description below. But isn't that a bright, fun little card? And a little flip flap. There we go. So, sorry about that. Funny faces, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's card. Oh, this is like out of whack now. I hope you enjoyed tonight's card and the flip flap card, and let me know if you guys make them and share them with me on the Facebook page. You guys can go ahead and post your cards there also. So until we meet again, everybody, happy stamping.